Porn addiction and your man finding recovery. I'm going to talk about this from the Christian angle today. So this person said, men need other men and there aren't too many safe places for men to talk about this. Most Christian men struggle, and I agree. Now, in this video that the commenter is leaving on, I said that a lot of men will say, oh, well, I'll go to church and I'll read my Bible and I'll join my men's group and that will be fine. I'm not saying that those aren't good things in that video. I'm saying that it's not enough. And I've seen too many cases. I could literally tell you hundreds and hundreds of stories where I've seen men do this and they almost always end up relapsing. In fact, I have seen men where this problem gets so out of control that they can end up in jail. So sometimes the church is not a safe place for these men to go get help. And the reason being is because that it is overlooked, it is hidden, it is brushed under the rug. Men in the church like to handle this from a spiritual root versus an emotional root. And emotions are really uncomfortable for most men in general to talk about because it's not manly, it's not something that they do. But the root trauma here is emotional. And the church is not usually trained on PTSD, root trauma, mental illness, personality disorders. There's a lot of things that they're not trained on. And those things really, really help people identify why some of these behaviors are taking place. It starts to make sense when you literally can look at what neurologists, psychologists, doctors are seeing on brain scans, and then you see that the science and the spiritual alignment back each other up. I think a lot of Christians are scared of science because they're like, oh, well, we're looking at science as God. I don't look at it as scary because I see that God created science and God aligns himself with biology. He created all those things. And now we just have the tools and resources now to really dig deep and understand those things. All that being said, the church is not trained in any of those things. And so when it comes to addiction or trauma therapy, these men really need intensive help in their recovery. The other thing too is that a lot of times when these addictions come out, people want to handle it with just accountability. They want to just say, let's just get accountability for this and we'll call it a day. That also doesn't work. You cannot start with just accountability. You have to start with deep recovery, emotional root trauma recovery. And then from there, once you can get stabilized and you're getting the help that you need, then bring accountability into it. Absolutely. And that can start early on, but start first with the recovery. Accountability is definitely needed. There are groups where Christian men do support other Christian men. But I will say there are a lot of church groups behind closed doors where men just basically are like, it's okay, like we all deal with this and it's not that big of a deal. And you have to be really, really discerning if that is what is going on behind closed doors. I cannot tell you how many churches do that. So they're not actually keeping men accountable. What they're doing is enabling the problem. And you have to be very careful that the person, the group that you are with, is not dragging down the addict, is not enabling the addict, and is actually getting them the help that they need. So I'm not opposed to anything spiritual. I'm a Christian myself. My husband does have Christian accountability partners. I'm so grateful for the group that he has. It's a group of elder men between their 60s and 80s that have come alongside him and have completely lifted him up. So I'm very grateful to those men. But I was also very cautious, like, what are they teaching you and what is their belief system? You know, what are their core beliefs? And all of them have really helped my husband, keeping him accountable. My husband also attends SAA meetings. Those can be good. Those can also be dangerous because SAA meetings, sometimes you're just hearing troubling stories of men relapsing a lot. And so that's where an accountability group where you can actually talk is very healing. That's what my husband does. So my husband has an accountability group. He does charge for it every month. It's $50 a month. They meet every night. I think now on Wednesday nights at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He has a lesson planned out. They're able to talk and they're able to keep each other accountable. So if that's something that a man listening is interested in, or a wife, and you're like, maybe that would be a good fit for my husband, you can reach out to us. But I do think that the Bible's good. I do think going to church is good. I do think a men's support group is good, but it is not enough. And you can't call it a day when these men have deep underlying issues, root trauma, and need serious help.